Hey miners, Mining King here. Today we're going to be talking about the Octominer X8 Ultra, and we're going to take a deep look and we're going to do a comparison between a GPU, a standard GPU mining frame build versus an Octominer, and I want to see what the cost is between these two to see is it cheaper to do a mining frame rig build or is it cheaper for Octominer. So let's get into the video. If you guys could please like, share, and subscribe, I really appreciate it, as it helps promote the channel and the YouTube algorithm. As well as, if you guys want, you guys can check out the Discord link down below. We got quite a few members in there. If you guys got any questions about mining or rig problems or anything, you're more than welcome to come down and hang out with us and ask some questions. So let's get back to the video. Okay guys, so here we are. We're over here at the Octominer website, and if you didn't know this, on March 30th and 31st, they're going to be reducing their minimum order quantity. Usually you have to have a minimum order of 5 to be able to order from Octominer, just to reduce the amount of shipping expenses, probably, I assume. The cheapest one you could get for the X8 Ultra is going to be their 1,840 watt unit. It's $659 if you bought one. Obviously, the more you buy, it looks like they give you more price breaks, but we're just going to go if we just bought the one for $659. I have been talking to other people that have bought and received Octominers, so the shipping cost, from what I've been told, is about roughly $200. We're probably looking about, with taxes, we're probably looking like right around $900 is what we're going to be looking at. With the $900 price tag on this, I wanted to see if we build our own rig, what's the cost difference? Like, is this amount really, this $659, is this really too expensive, or is this actually pretty reasonable for today's market right now? And just so you guys know, I'm not sponsored by Octominer. I don't have a referral link or anything like that. This is just me. I'm just trying to figure this out, and I've been watching a lot of reviews on this, and I live in Arizona, so these things will probably keep my GPUs a lot cooler. So I'm just wondering if these particular these server case rigs make sense for me to buy. So this is me just doing my own research. So it is kind of nice. You can see right here that you have a little display here. I'm assuming it displays the temperature readouts, as well as these fans also show up in Hive OS, and you can make them auto-tune to the temperature, so that way they're not always just blasting at 100%, so they can auto-tune themselves in Hive, which is really, really cool. They also usually, if you get the 3,000 watt unit, you will have 4 750 watt hot swappable power supplies. So you will have these 4 right here for your 3,000 watts, and they're server grade, so that's really good. And pretty much everything else besides that, put your farm hash for your Hive OS and all that stuff on there, so this shows up in your farm, right? And then pretty much slap in the GPUs and connect the PCIe cables, and you're done. It's literally this rig would probably take maybe 10 minutes to set up. So super convenient, right? That's another good factor. You don't have to build anything. Everything's already put in here just for you. So it's really, really, I would say, user-friendly and great to use because it's extremely simple. And you're also going to get really great cooling because these are like server-grade Delta fans. They're optimized to be pushing the air through the case over the GPUs and getting the heat out as quickly as possible. So if you have like 3080s and 3090s, or even if you're in a hot weather state like myself, these cases might be an option for you, right? So I just went over some of the features. They have hardware watchdog and the smart fan controllers. I mean, there's lots of other things about this case that are really, really nice. I wanted to touch on some of these features. $659 plus $200 in shipping plus tax. I'm assuming you're in the $925 range, $900 range is what we're kind of looking at here. What we need to do is we need to start building our own rig. If we were going to build our own GPU mining rig that was going to be an 8 GPU rig, let's go shop for some parts. I made an Amazon cart here just because this stuff is readily available. It's easy to, really easy to find. We have the new Q270 Pro BTC mining motherboard. This is actually cheaper, so it's went down a few dollars. So it was up to like, I think over 270 for this. This is pretty standard for a motherboard in my opinion. For one that's gonna hold 8 GPUs or more, it's pretty standard price for a mining motherboard, right? And then I had to go with a used. And see, this is the other issue when you're going with these 270 boards and like H110s and B250s and all those other mining motherboards. They're all on the LGA 1151 socket, and everybody knows that everybody uses these for mining. So these G39 processors, super expensive. This is a used one for $77. And as you see, it says no stock cooler even added, so I still have to factor in another $20 for a stock cooler. So we have this for a motherboard. We have a G3900. We have this is the cheapest generic SSD they had on the site. And then this is the cheapest 8 gigabyte DDR4 2133 RAM, because that's what we need for the motherboard. So we're at $402.97, right? Okay, so we're almost already halfway there, and we still have lots of other parts to buy. This is just a cheap mining frame from Amazon, and I know a lot of people go to AAA Wave or the Mining Cave and all that other stuff, but we're just saying we're just going to use this cheap junky frame here. So, and I've even bought one, and I'm using it right now on my 1060s. So, $44. So obviously all these prices are before tax, but I'm going to include tax at the end. We're right around almost $450, okay? Now let's get into the power supply section, right? I typically only buy server grade power supplies now. I dislike using the ATX ones, as these have a lot more PCIe connectors. They're much more efficient. I just like these overall better. So you're looking at about $230 for a 1200 watt power supply, and this is about what you're going to spend anyways, even if you went ATX. So right now, we were at about 450. Now we're climbing up to about 680 right there. And I have it on the calculator here, and I'll show you guys at the end. But I'm just trying to show you guys all these different parts, and at first they kind of don't add up, right? You're like, oh man, that Octominer rig is just too expensive, right? Well, we're slowly tacking on all these parts that we have to buy, right? So the next thing on our list is going to be risers, and that's one part you kind of don't want to buy those cheap Amazon U-bit ones, because I have thrown away so many of those things because they're just garbage. I really like these AAA Wave 10 cap risers here. I've been using them a lot lately, and I haven't had any issues, and they're cheaper than their competition, which is gpurisers.com. I did have one riser go bad, but as soon as I told them it was bad, they sent me a replacement next day, and I got it here. I would say great customer service. I'm going to keep going with these guys, right? But look, another $60, you know what I mean, for risers. And I'm not even including shipping, because some of these companies like Parallel Miner and AAA Wave, they're going to charge you shipping. Keep that in mind here, and just wait till the end for the calculator. We also are going to need some splitters probably, right? Depending upon how many cards you're running and how many 8 pins, or maybe they have 8 and 6 pins on them, or they have 2 8 pins, or whatever it is. Maybe we're going to need splitters. Every time you build a rig, you have to buy splitters. Okay, there's another $35. Going over all these parts, it just keeps ticking. It just keeps kind of ticking up and up and up. So here's my number here, okay? And I still have to add the $20 for the stock cooler. So plus $20 because I didn't see that. So you need, and I did not include any shipping, which you probably from Parallel Miner and AAA Wave, you're going to be paying at least, I would say between them both, probably, I would say like $50 in shipping. So we're going to add $50 to shipping, okay? And I want you to see this price, okay? This is for every part. If you were going to build a mining frame rig on your own, if you bought everything, you bought the motherboard, CPU, the RAM, the hard drive, the frame, power supply, risers, splitters, all of that, right? This is the number that you're going to spend right here, about. And you could go with different, you could go on the used market and really value shop, but I'm just saying, if you bought everything new from a reputable resource like Newegg and Amazon and AAA Wave, this is how much money you're going to spend on your rig, and that doesn't include any graphics cards, right? This is just getting the frame and the rig put together so you can put GPUs in it, right? Because that is the same service that Octominer is also offering you. If we take the $200 plus the tax on this, so this is our cost right here, $922.31, okay? Just think about that. You add $200 in shipping on this, these numbers, they're pretty much exactly the same. You know, I was kind of not, I always thought Octominer was a little expensive myself until I sat down one day and I started adding up all of these numbers, right? I added up the motherboards and all this other stuff, and I'm like, wow, that price actually isn't unreasonable. It's actually extremely reasonable. As well as these guys, they even offer you a 1-year warranty on the rig. So like, let's say your fan goes out or one of these, one of these power supplies goes out, no problem. They'll just send it to you. Boom, they'll send you another power supply. Imagine that. You have 1 year customer support on your rig versus if you built this rig here that we're doing, something goes out, you know what I mean? Or maybe you built it wrong. Maybe you're a new miner and you put one of the risers in backwards and then you fried your board, right? You're going to be out that cost. Octominer, it takes all of that just out of the equation. It makes it extremely easy, and it has a lot of new, really good features that miners could really benefit from. So actually, guys, I'm going to order one X8 Ultra when they have their sale in March when they're going to reduce their quantity number from 5 down to 1. So the minimum quantity will be 1. So, or you can order as many as you want or whatever. But if you wanted to order one, you could order just one. I'm going to be ordering one, and when I get it in, I will be doing a review on it. So you guys can stay tuned for that video. I just wanted to get this video out there because I feel like people maybe, because they see this number here, this $600-700 number, they think it's too much money, and because it's a bigger number, right? It's a bigger number at first because you're like, oh man, I can get a motherboard for a couple $100, but you realize that you have all these other little parts that they just keep ticking at you, and eventually you're gonna get to this number right here. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that video. Just remember, hit that like, share, and subscribe so that way when I do get the Octominer in, you guys can stay tuned and check that video out of my review of the Octominer X8 Ultra. Anyways, guys, this is the Mining King giving you the most hashes, and I'll see you next time.